All right, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so you guys are all here to learn how to be able to take advantage of these cool tools and resources that we have. Cool tools and resources that we have specifically referred to as, for my session, AI, as well as who in here does not have a smartphone? Raise your hand if you don't have a smartphone. Okay, good, because if you don't have a smartphone, what do you have? Dumb phone, right? You've already spent $1,000. We might as well put this into play. Feel free to pull out that smartphone, open up the camera app, and scan this QR code. And so what I'll do is I'm going to give you notes for my session today. This will jump back on the screen in a second. These are going to be notes for my session. And the cool thing about it is that these notes, it's going to be even more comprehensive than what I'll share with you today. I had a little issue with this thing kind of kicking in back and forth, but we'll make it work. Don't worry. We'll find a way to make it work. So scan it before it turns back off on us. I could do this whole presentation even if this thing wasn't working for you. Let me give you a breakdown of myself, because I do think that this is important for you to have a little bit of a better understanding. So I'm a 21-year real estate veteran myself. I'm a real estate broker. I'm based out of the IE. I'm also a mortgage loan originator. And then I'm also an active investor, buyer and seller of real estate, like at this very moment, still out there doing deals. I love this industry. I think it's one of the best businesses that you can be in. And a big part of it is because it's really life-changing. Now, what else? Is there any, what about just dealing with your clients? How do your clients feel about buying right now? A little nervous, right? How about sellers? How many sellers are a little bit maybe frustrated with the fact that they're not getting the price that they're looking for? How many of your clients are you dealing with that you're having to have these tough, straightforward conversations where they're thinking that their home is worth a lot more than what it really is? I had one of those yesterday. I have a client, I've been working on this listing now for months. I already signed the contract. I put an SELM in place in order for us to delay putting it online. And the reason is because my client had a figure up here, but in all reality, her offers were going to be down here. I used ChatGPT. I showed her what her home could look like. Crazy thing about it is that they decided to pull the trigger. They said, okay, we have about $25,000, $30,000 to invest. We spent time. I coordinated the fixing up of the home. Yesterday I did my final walkthrough, and my client says, okay, John, so I got my mom here, I got my dad here, and my brother. You're on speaker, by the way. No notice to me whatsoever. And she says, and I just want to make sure we're going to hit the market at $900,000, right? Well, I never told them $900,000 in the first place. I had actually given them a completely different figure. We had to have the tough conversation about $850,000 if we're lucky. So now, here's what I did, just so you understand. I leveraged ChatGPT in order to give me a very structured outline to support my estimated price range of $850 to $860, leaning a little bit more towards $850. And I leveraged AI in order to create a presentation, to put it into a PDF, so that way, when I'm with my clients, I said, let me send you a link, everybody's there together, jump online, and let me just go through to clearly articulate why we are looking at a lower price than what you have in mind. But because I was able to back it up with factual data, my client was super happy, and they said, okay, sounds good, you know what you're doing, whatever price you want is what we'll roll with. But not every conversation happens that easily. But my point is this, is that if we're going to have tough conversations with our clients, we have to be able to make sure that we're clearly articulating why are we making these adjustments. Because let's face it, 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, you didn't need to be skilled to sell a house. Take photos sitting in your car with your iPhone, do no editing, upload them to the MLS, and if you priced it somewhat okay, it was going to sell. Now it actually takes skill to sell a house. Hector, would you agree with that?
100%.
Takes skill to sell a house, right? So if we need to do anything right now, my advisement is this: sharpen up on your listing presentation skills. I just want to show you this as well because, again, this is 100% relevant. I just came back from Oktoberfest. I went to Oktoberfest, and this was my first time. It was on my bucket list to go to Munich and to go to Oktoberfest. But this year alone, I travel a lot, but I leverage the stuff I'm going to talk about today to be able to consistently generate business. Because if I was just out traveling and if I wasn't being strategic, I wouldn't be coming back closing more real estate deals, right? But this year, I'll tell you, just for fun. So I was in Spain, I was in Mallorca, which is great, awesome. Barcelona, Switzerland, Paris, you name it, probably 10 countries. What's that?
You must be making good money.
Great money.
There you go.
But my point is that it's leveraging these tools and techs and resources so that way while I'm out, I'm still in front of my clients. I spent 10 hours pub hopping a couple weeks ago in Scotland for 10 hours. 10 hours pub hopping in Scotland, okay? Just to give you a frame of mind. Then I had a client reach out to me. This is a client who has 5 houses to sell in the city of Ontario. Extremely wealthy man. This guy is like a baller. He's approaching the age of 80, and what he's looking to do is he's looking to sell his properties, and he's looking to move them all into triple net lease properties. So he just sold a duplex in Newport Beach, and he put it into a triple net lease, bought a Wendy's building with a 40-year lease still in North Carolina. I sat there with him in Huntington Beach and I said, how did you accumulate so many homes? And he said, well, John, I'll tell you, I'm a retired police officer. I bought my first house when I was 20 years old, and I never sold to cash out. I always sold to move up. Single family to a duplex to a triplex, and now I own all these properties. But I live my life being a property manager, and I'm tired of it. But my point is, I connected with that gentleman. He hit me up to talk to me about the Ontario houses, and then he said, but John, first I need to sell this duplex in Costa Mesa. And I told him, give me a chance. This is all via text, by the way. He's a great texter. I said, give me a chance to sell this for you. And he says, John, you're my Ontario guy. You're not a South OC guy, are you? I jumped on over to ChatGPT. I created such a structured, informative presentation for him, sent it over to him. He was completely blown away. He said, let's talk tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness he didn't want to talk tonight. So I talked to him the very next day, and he told me, he said, I had no idea that you had such intimate knowledge of my market. The reality is, guys, I didn't. If you were going to sit there and ask me questions about his market, I wouldn't have been able to tell you anything about the economic data, about the major employers, white collar, blue collar, the commuter trends, or any information specific to the school district. But you know how I figured it out? Because we have artificial intelligence in order to structure that for me. So I just really want you to open up your mind as to the opportunities that are ahead of us. So, okay, now let's jump into this. If you are on Instagram, feel free to pull out your phone. You can add me, top left corner. It shows JDREYES01. And that's really just because I post content with the intent of you seeing some cool things that I do that helps generate business. So when I was out traveling, I'm sharing my travel adventures. I'm posting photos like this because I do think it's important that I showcase to my clients, I'm not just a real estate robot. I'm a normal human being. I have a wife. I love to travel. I love to smoke cigars. I love to play poker. And if I'm having a beer, because I am a beer enthusiast, I'm going to post that, but I'm not going to sit there posting a photo of me hugging the toilet because I had one too many. So there's this balance. That's what we were talking about, the authenticity factor, right? And so this is what helps me stay connected with my clients. But what I also did is I leveraged an app called Captions, so that way I just typed out a prompt, and I had this AI, this AI like person create this video that says, "Hi, I'm Ava, John Reyes' AI assistant, and I'm here to share with you," and then she shared a tip. And if you would like more information, give John a call. But I just did that video. I just prompted it while we were having breakfast in the morning, but that's the tools and the tech that exist in front of us right now. Let me talk about a couple of things. Before I get into the cool stuff, I just really want to hit on the what. This room should be packed. The fact that this room is not packed with your competitors tells you something. That is the problem with this industry. Most real estate agents are horrible marketers. Real estate agents have finally figured out that we should not take photos on our cell phone, and then what we're doing is we're hiring professionals to make our homes look good. It only took 10 years for agents to figure that out. So now, when we're talking about things like AI, this room should be packed because agents should fear the fact that so much of what we do as professionals is being supplemented by AI. There's no question about it. You can go onto ChatGPT right now and you can do deep research. Type in an address and give very specific details as to what the condition of that property is, and ask ChatGPT for an estimated price range. Then spend 30 minutes doing a CMA and compare the information that ChatGPT will give you in comparison to what you produce. And I guarantee you, it's going to be pretty spot on. This is for single family residences. I noticed that it's not as on point the moment you go into specialty properties like a duplex, triplex, or anything like that. But if we're only talking about single family residences, ChatGPT is already doing those types of things. In addition to that, when we talk about the AI revolution, this video, I don't know if it's going to play, and if not, that's okay, but there's this gentleman who is one of the former executives of Apple. He's also one of the former executives of Google. He's the former president of Google in Asia, and in 2023, the Times Magazine ranked him as one of the top 100 most influential people in AI worldwide. He's in China. He has shared about the advancements, companies that are valued $1 billion, $10+ billion in AI, and he's one of the major investors behind them. But he goes on to say, most people are completely clueless as to how AI will change the world. I believe that AI will change the world more than what electricity changed the world. Case in point, we could look at some things like this. You had a lady that planned a trip to Paris, and she used ChatGPT. She said, we would all think, more efficient, it's gonna plan her agenda, tell her where to stay. She said, it cost me more money, and I hated the place where I stayed. And this is an opportunity for us to look at ChatGPT to say, we should learn to be able to embrace these resources because your clients will use them, and you don't wanna be an agent that either A, doesn't understand it, or B, allow your client to go down a road where it's not truly helping them. They're just going through the motions because they heard that they should use ChatGPT. I closed a property a couple weeks ago for a buyer, and it's a great client, 31-year-old and 29-year-old. 31-year-old husband, 29-year-old wife, they have a 2-year-old baby. And when we did our final walkthrough, the husband is a correctional officer. He's not in our space of tech. He's not even a techie guy. His wife won't allow him to have a video game system. And so what he did is that he's showing us photos to say, hey guys, look at what ChatGPT did. He took photos on his own without me ever prompting him, and then he uploaded them to ChatGPT to ask about landscaping ideas. ChatGPT gave him option number 1, option number 2, and option number 3. So now when I saw that, I was like, that is so freaking cool that you did this, because it just further validates what I talk about. Don't put yourself in a position where your clients are doing it and then you're like, well, what is that? How did you do that? Because then what does it say about you as a professional? I think it just shows that you're a little bit behind the 8 ball. Now, let's look at this. Fast food restaurants are leveraging AI. This is being built out right now, okay? So when you pull up to your favorite fast food restaurant, they're gonna have technology that's gonna scan your license plate, it's gonna scan your face because you might have other people in the car with you, and it's gonna have an idea of what you already order, so that way it can suggest certain items to you. Now, why are they doing that? To speed up the process and to be able to make more money. Lufthansa, my favorite airline to fly to Europe, has announced by 2030 they're expecting to replace 4,000 jobs with AI. Realistically, that number will probably be more. Now, I was sharing this when I first walked in. I think, Michelle, you and I were talking about this. When I just went to Europe in July, I got back in July. I think it was July, maybe middle of July. I'm telling you this because I want you to think of how long ago this was. How long ago was the middle of July? A few months ago. I landed at LAX. When we landed, I stood in line. It took me about 25 minutes in order to go through the customs line. Every one of the kiosks at LAX had a customs officer behind the window. So that way they could look at our documentation, ask us some questions, and then allow us to move through. I just landed back at LAX on October 7th. When I landed this time, instead of every kiosk being full, there were only 2 customs officers working. The line took me 6 minutes to go through. It took me 4 times longer to go through it a few months earlier with more employees, and here's now what the 2 officers did. These officers, they're not the friendliest, they're not smiling while they're talking, so they just gave direction. They said, put your passports away, we don't need them. Number 1, go to number 1. Go to number 2, you go to number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Okay, number 1, number 2. And all we did is we walked up to this machine. We didn't even scan our passports. All it did was do a facial recognition, gave us a green check mark, and then we could go through. 2 customs officers. So I stood there with my wife and I said, look at all these kiosks. We were just here, and every one of these was full with a customs officer. Is anybody afraid of this tech stuff that we call ChatGPT or AI? I mean, truth be told, it does freak me out a little bit. It really, really does. ChatGPT is this. When I talk ChatGPT, do know, and if it comes in, comes out, that's okay, we're gonna deal with it. I do want you to know, ChatGPT, when I talk about it, it's not just ChatGPT. There's other like-kind services, okay? So there's like Gemini, that's the Google version. There is Grok, which is the X, the Twitter version. There's DeepSeek. There's other ones that will probably pop up. But if you understand the logic of ChatGPT, you'll understand the other ones as well. Now, I sometimes have real estate agents that say they don't like ChatGPT because they just think it's basic. The more basic prompts that you give, the more basic answers you're going to get, okay? So the more basic prompts that you give, the more basic answers that you're going to get. And what I mean by that is you can go in and type in a prompt like this. You should all pull out your phone and take a photo of this prompt as soon as it pops up on the screen, because this will help you. I don't want to just show you stuff that's not going to help you generate more deals. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Have you guys ever heard that before? If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, right? I'm not going to use a technology because I think it's going to impress my clients. I'm going to use a technology because it's going to help my phone ring. And we can leverage AI in order to stay more closely connected to our clients. What do we all want? Typically we want more listings, right? And I know Hector and Linda, you want your clients to get more listings, because if we get more listings, it's more of an opportunity to bring more escrows to our affiliate partners. And at the same time, Michelle, you want me to get more listings because that means I have more people walking through my front door when I'm holding an open house, and I have more of an opportunity to engage and have a conversation with prospects. And if I'm good at what I do, if I can convert, if somebody walks through, then I have a better chance of now having a new client that I can bring on over to Michelle to say, Michelle, I got a buyer, can you please get this client qualified? They're interested. Whether or not they buy this home, I really don't care. I want them to, but what's my job? To close real estate deals. If they don't buy this house, I'm gonna share and convey my value. I'm gonna convert them to a client anyways. So now I'm gonna come on over to ChatGPT and I'm gonna tell ChatGPT to do some research for us. Here's what it's gonna say. I want you to do customer research for me. Tell me 10 frustrations, 10 desires, 10 dreams, and 10 fears that my audience experiences related to, what do we say we want? More sellers. Related to homeowners who want to sell their home. Format the output of the 10 frustrations, 10 desires, 10 dreams, and 10 fears in a table. The x-axis should be numbered 1 through 10, and the y-axis should include frustrations, desires, dreams, and fears. Now, when I read the last couple sentences, I will tell you that it is a little nerdy. In fact, it took me a while for me to finally understand what it was really asking. But the good news is you don't even need to understand it. If you were to copy this right now and upload it to ChatGPT, it's going to create a table for you, and the responses will look a little something like this. So here are some frustrations. Uncertainty about how much their home is really worth. Would you agree that that's a frustration by home sellers right now? I'll tell you, huge opportunity for us to capitalize and connect. And the reason is because most sellers will not have a good indication as to what their home's gonna sell for. Most of them right now will think it's gonna sell for more, just because they know really not much more. But if somebody's selling less, doesn't it just make sense that whatever they technically lose in value, they would be able to gain if they're also buying? So today I have a showing in Marietta at 6:30, and it's in order to lock a brand new listing in Fontana. And the seller, I've been going back and forth with him, and he's a little bit lack of motivation because he's like, you know what, John, I was really hoping to sell my home for this. And I was like, maybe if you would have sold your home 18 months ago, you could have realistically got that. But let's look at how much competition you have in the area. Here's the one thing that I need you to understand. Whatever you technically lose when you go buy your replacement home, sellers are gonna have to deal with the same thing that you're dealing with. So if you're looking at a property that's being listed for $800,000 and it's been on the market for 30 days, don't think you have to pay $800,000. So that's exactly what finally locked him in. He found a home in an area, school district that he wants. I reached out to the real estate agent, and the real estate agent said, look, my client is extremely motivated. I don't care if you guys are contingent, get that property under contract, bring me something. Like, just bring us something, because right now it's been crickets. So we just need to know how to make sure that we're correctly talking to our clients. What are some other frustrations? Too many repairs needed, not knowing who to trust in the real estate process. Okay, so that's some good information. What are some desires? Getting top dollar for their home, a stress-free, smooth selling process. None of our clients want headaches. How about this one? Working with an experienced and knowledgeable real estate agent. Now, what are also some, let's go to the next one. What are some dreams of our clients? Selling quickly and for more than the asking price. That's a dream. Getting multiple offers that drive up the price, or finding the perfect buyer who loves their home. What are some fears? This is a good one because people tend to move because of need, greed, or fear of loss. So what are some fears of sellers? Selling for less than what the home is worth. I'm talking some clients out of putting their home on the market right now. I have another listing. I'm holding an open house this weekend, and I told my client, I said, look, if I were you, because you're not buying a replacement home, I'd probably hold off from putting this property in the market. I'd probably wait until things improve. And he's like, yeah, you know what, I thought about it, but I have a good enough equity position. Either way, I'm fine. I just don't want to have to deal with the headache and the hassle. Not a problem. How about the home sitting on the market with no interest? Choosing the wrong agent or getting poor advice. I said make sure that you're sharpening up your listing skills, because this is where we can make sure that when we're talking to prospective sellers, I want my seller to understand that I'm not a passive agent. I'm not simply going to take photos and put it on the MLS and then wait for a buyer to show up. Otherwise, what sort of value am I bringing my clients? Do I want to sit there and justify my compensation? Or do I want to just sound like everybody else? What do you guys think? You don't want to just sound like everybody else. If you get a client right now that says, I want to sell my home and you're going to charge me what? Why would I pay you that when I could pay the agent down the street for less? Know that we're going to have more of these conversations. And I'm sure in the last couple of years, if you're an active agent, you're probably already experiencing that. I had a seller tell me straight up, I've never paid any agent. I've sold 5 houses. I've never paid an agent what you're asking me to pay you. But I've also never had an agent offer as much as you do as well. So if you had mentioned, well, I must be closing some deals, right? That's what you had said? Tina? You had made the comment, well, you must be closing some deals. I really focus heavily on the value proposition of what I'm bringing my client. There was an office meeting, it was a packed house, and there's this agent that said to a realtor, oh, so I've never met you before. She's like, yeah, I just joined the office. Then he's like, oh, okay, so how long have you been in the business? She's like, 6 months. And then he's like, oh, horrible time for you to get into the business. I mean, if there was ever a bad time, I mean, this is it. I'm like, that guy just needs to do himself a favor and stay home. He would be better just not even showing up to the office. If I was a broker, I'd probably kick him out of my office, because he's probably doing bad in his business and he just wants to permeate that to everybody else so that way he could feel better about himself. And so what I said is this, yes, we've had a restriction on business. There's no question about it, but there's still business there. If you're doing the same thing that you were doing years ago when business was good, you cannot expect the same results. What else are we doing? Are you bringing more value? Are you putting yourself in front of your clients more? Are you making more phone calls? Are you recording video messages telling your clients, hey, happy birthday, because their birthday's coming up and we want to be memorable? People are still doing deals. Maybe they're doing less deals. I'm not foolish on this, but there's still business to be closed. You guys agree with me on that?
Yes.
Okay, so now here's what I would do. I'd come on over to ChatGPT, and then I would type out a message to ChatGPT. I would say, great, now that they've given me all this information, can you now please give me 10 hooks that I could use for my video marketing? Keep in mind that I'm a realtor who is looking to connect with more sellers. And what ChatGPT is going to do, it's going to create, you're seeing it on the spot, it's going to give me 10 hooks based off the information that it just produced. It gave me 40 answers. Frustrations, desires, dreams, and fears. 4, how many did I ask for? 10, what's 10 times 4? That's 40. It gave me 40 responses. Now the reason I'm asking for these hooks is because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my $22.99 tripod, just like Jay has here with this camera, and then I'm going to, on my own, I'm going to create video content so that way my clients can remember that John Reyes is a real estate professional that they should call. So $22.99. I have a hard time thinking of what to say because I'm an average real estate agent. I have kids are crying, this and that. I got life that I'm living through. But how difficult is it for me to be able to leverage AI to look at something like this? Number 1, you might not be able to read it because the text is small. I'll read it to you. Thinking about selling, but worried about leaving money on the table. Let me show you how to price your home to attract serious buyers without undercutting yourself. So a hook is something that you would say in the first 3 to 5 seconds to get the attention of prospects. Michelle, 100%, I would do this if I were you all day. And the reason I would do this is because you want to stay connected with your buyer prospects, and I guarantee you, any realtor in this room, if you told them that you would be a part of the team in order to help convert the lead. I'm not somebody who's going to simply just say, send me a buyer so I could do a pre-qual. Send me your client so we could work together in order to help pull them over the finish line so we can close more deals. I will be proactive in reaching out because most real estate agents are not as aggressive in reaching out as they want. That's why I say in the loan space, huge opportunity. If I told you, again, Alba, right? Alba, you're holding an open house this weekend. And I can't make it to the open house because I am holding another one. But if I said, Alba, as a lending partner, if you get anybody who signs in, please send them on over my way, and I will be proactive in reaching out to these prospects. I will educate them. I will make sure we stay connected. So if they buy, I want to make sure that they contact me so I can bring them back to you so we could work in partnership. Do you think you would give me just a couple minutes to share a little bit more about my lending value proposition so we could work together? And Alba would most likely do that because anything that's going to help you close more deals, that's a true partnership. Opposed to just send me a lead so that way I can get them pre-qualified. You agree with that, Michelle?
Yeah, 100%.
So here's what I did. I leveraged ChatGPT. I was watching reruns of Breaking Bad. I've already watched that show 3 times, but it's one of those shows that I could watch at any time and I still love it. So I'm watching reruns of Breaking Bad on a Sunday evening, and I have commercials because I'm cheap and I pay Netflix $8 a month, $7.99. So in between shows, I have a 90-second, 60-second commercial. Well, I used ChatGPT in order to produce a hook. And the hook was specific to what's going on in the market right now. Interest rates have dropped. Not sure if you're aware, but we've had some easing on the interest rates. What does that mean for buyers? They could potentially qualify for more and all that. So I used the hook, and then all I did was talk for about 20 seconds on the topic, and then I closed it. If you're still thinking about buying, you should give me a call. So I used ChatGPT to come up with an idea. I told ChatGPT, give me a hook that I could send out to prospective buyers relevant to what's going on in the market today. It gave me a hook. I just asked for one. It gave me one. And in between the show, I just used my cell phone. I didn't even use a tripod. I just held my phone like this, recorded the message, and then I sent it. I texted that video because the video is small. It's 25 seconds, so I could text it. I text it to you, text it to you, text it to you with a little short message. One lady responded. I called her right away. She says, John, I cannot believe you just texted me. My husband and I were just talking about buying a home. And I'm like, we're in sales. We've all decided to be amongst one of the most competitive industries on the planet, real estate sales. Nobody cares how hard we work. We don't get paid for how many hours we work. That's why I said earlier, when I was doing loans, and there were like 300 calls a day, I'm like, what do we get paid for? The dials, or do we get paid for closed deals? And theoretically, more dials equal more closed deals, but I don't think that way. I could call less, but have a much better opportunity to connect with the prospect, and then that will increase my chances of more closed deals. So my video got the attention of that lady. I got on a call with her. That was Sunday. Remember, Sunday. Follow me on this. That was on Sunday. Monday, I had a call with her and her husband. So now I got 2 people. It's a 3-way call. He's a sheriff. He's on duty. They send me 2 new builds, 2 properties that they're interested in. Little do they know it's 1 sales office with 1 sales rep. So I took them to the new build on the following Sunday. So now, 7 days from start to finish, they signed a 30-day contract to close, to buy a new property, just under $800,000 in Jurupa Valley. The builder's paying 2 points. So let's just do the math on that. So now my client walks away, they leave, they're super happy, they're excited. I get my $22.99 tripod because I want to be efficient with my time. And as I'm driving out, I know where the sign is at. It says Bayberry. There's 2 communities. I don't need both. I just want one. I put my phone here. I put the camera so that way the Bayberry's behind, and then I hit record, and then I just talk. My client just locked in a 4.99% 30-year fixed FHA home loan on a brand new property that they purchased in Jurupa Valley. And in addition to that, the builder's offering a $7,000 closing credit if you work with their preferred lender. Now, because they are heroes, they received an additional $2,000. So if you're interested in buying a new home or selling the current one that you're living in, then we should talk. Give me a call. Boom, stop recording. Now, what did I do? I put myself in a position where I am now maybe a little bit more uncomfortable than if I didn't record, because not everybody's comfortable creating videos. but you're probably not comfortable sitting there picking up the phone, reaching out to clients. You're probably not comfortable sitting there door knocking. You're probably not comfortable, if you didn't do any of that, not having any deals coming your way consistently. You don't want to be at your awards meeting and hearing about all these agents closing deals and we're not closing them, right? So I took that video that I recorded, I sat in my car, I used an editing app, 3 minutes in order to edit the video, posted it then on I posted that video on my story, and then based off that story, I had one of my past clients who I've not talked to in a year and 9 months. She reached out to me and she says, hey John, I'm interested in a new build as well. When she first bought her home, she was 23 years old, and now she's married. She's 25 years old. So what does that mean besides headaches, being that she's married? What else does it mean?
Another income.
Bingo, double income. Yep. So now she has 2 incomes. So she said, we're interested in the new home. Took her to the new build. She signed a contract, a 63-day escrow. And then she says, John, that means we have to sell our condo, right? And I said, actually, you don't. I know the income that you make, and you could totally swing this as an investor. Let me share with you why I think that you should consider keeping your home. You're 25 years old right now. Your 45-year-old self will love the fact that you decided to hold on to the condo. In addition to that, and then I told her about why Ontario is so amazing. It's in the city of Ontario. So she said, okay, thank you so much, because I know most agents would tell me to sell. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. Most realtors would, because they want a new listing. She closed on her property. Now she's moving all of her furniture out of the house. She calls me and she says, John, we need to talk. She's like disappointed. She thinks I'm going to be disappointed in the fact that she wants to sell her home. John, we just don't want to be investors anymore, and we hate the HOA, and we just think that we don't want to have to be landlords, so we just want to sell. I believed in the idea and the concept so much of keeping that condo long term, I bought that condo. I reached out to Linda. Their escrow team took care of me. It was an amazing transaction. You have an amazing team, by the way, and I could vouch for that for sure. An amazing team. Are you part of her team? Is that why?
No, she's just a good person.
Oh, okay, cool. I was like, are you part of the team? Did you help me out too? And I don't know it. So yeah, now my wife and I, we bought that property. We fixed it up. We did some things to make it look nice. We fully furnished it. And now it's one of my fully furnished rentals that I've added to my portfolio. That's my play. My play are fully furnished rentals because it's a different market than a traditional family moving in for a year. I do more corporate travel. That's what we do. But how was this all generated? Because I took advantage of a free application, which is ChatGPT, and I used it. I was proactive in asking for a prompt, and the app that I used to edit my video cost me $9.99 a month. So I generated over $30,000 in revenue, purchased a new property, because I'm leveraging the tools that we already pay for. I already bought my cell phone. Okay, let's go through a couple more here. I just listed to you 10 of the hooks. What I could do is this. How many of you honestly would feel comfortable if I gave you a hook like thinking about selling but worried about leaving money on the table? Raise your hand if you could speak for 20 to 30 seconds on that topic with no script, no help, just your knowledge. Raise your hand if that's you. Okay, one person?
What's the hook again?
The hook is the first, okay, thinking about selling but worried about leaving money on the table. Let me show you what my team and I do in order to help our clients sell quickly and for top dollar. Pretend that's the hook. Can you talk for 20 to 30 seconds about that topic?
Yeah.
Good.
You can do it here now.
I was gonna say. Okay, so Alba says, yeah, I could do that too. And Miss, what's your name? Joan. Joan. So Joan and Alba could do it. Now some of you, let's just say you, Michelle, I think you could do it too, but let's just say you're like, you know what, I don't want to have to think about it. Just tell me what to say. If you tell me what to say, I'll say it. Well, you can come over to ChatGPT and you could say, excellent, now please provide me a 75-word blog that I could read in first person. Start off with a hook, and remember, I'm a real estate agent looking to connect with more sellers. And then what ChatGPT will do is it will actually give us 10 scripts. All we have to do is just copy and paste. Look, they're being created right in front of us. 75 words is approximately a 45-second video. 50 words is going to be about 30 seconds. Most of the videos that I'm doing right now are like 20 to 30 seconds. Brevity is best. Keep it short, keep it concise, and keep it to the point. Yes?
Are all your prompts part of the 8-page document that you shared?
Question, are all of my prompts part of the 8-page document that I shared? I'm almost positive that the main 3 prompts for the research I know is there for sure. And then the prompt for the hooks and then the scripts. Those are the 3 that are included. Yeah, no problem. So now you tell me, would you feel comfortable and confident reading a script like this? Thinking about selling but worried about leaving money on the table. Let me show you how to price your home to attract serious buyers without undercutting yourself. Pricing your home is one of the most important decisions you'll make. Go too high and buyers stay away. Too low and you're leaving hard-earned equity behind. I help my clients find that sweet spot backed by data, market insight, and experience so you can feel confident that you're getting top dollar without scaring away potential buyers. If you're curious about what your home could sell for, let's talk. How many of you would feel comfortable and confident having a video like that online, on your social media, on your YouTube account, on your Instagram account? Would you?
No, I would feel comfortable sending it out as an email,
As an email, okay.
but not a video.
Or you know what I would say too is get into the habit of texting. Texting video content is really good. I'll tell you what I do. When it's people's birthdays, in my CRM, I get an email of everybody's birthday every morning. And then what I'll do is I just grab my phone, 8 seconds. Hey Alba, this is John Reyes. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Alba, we just wanted to let you know we're thinking about you. We hope you have a great day and more. Alba, have a happy birthday. If you notice, I said your name 3 times in 10 seconds or less. People like to hear their names said. I take that video, I text it over to you, and it's specific for you. Clients love that. What was my investment of time? 8 seconds? How memorable is that for my client? Clients sometimes will text me back video messages, which is awesome, or they'll tell me you're the only person to do something like that for me. We got to remember, it's our job to be remembered. It's nobody's job to remember us. No matter what you did, how great you were, how much money you saved them, life happens and they forget their real estate agent. We know most consumers can't even tell you who their realtor was. And I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to make it more difficult than what it needs to be. It's like, how do I just stay connected to my clients? I worked so hard from them in the first place. How do I just stay a little bit more relevant? Okay, so now I could take this script right here and open up this app called Captions. Write this down, C-A-P-T-I-O-N-S. Captions is the most empowering video editing app on the planet for all people that have a product or service to sell. And Captions, in my opinion, is the most cost-effective, $9.99. I'm on a very small list of approved trainers for Apple retail stores. So Apple will bring in business owners, non-real estate people. And we have a lot of attorneys that we deal with, a lot of people in the surgical space, like plastic surgeons, huge business. Estheticians, and they're there wanting to learn how to leverage digital technology in order to grow their business because they have a product or service to sell as well. And this is one of the most popular apps that I'll show. Captions. Got your photo? Perfect. Okay, now let me just play a video for you so you guys can see. This is an example of a video I created with Captions, leveraging that exact script that I just read to you guys. Let's get the audio back over here real quick. Price your home to attract serious buyers. One more time. Okay, let's go again. Thinking about selling, but worried about leaving money on the table. Let me show you how to price your home to attract serious buyers without undercutting yourself. Now, pricing your home correctly is one of the most important decisions you'll make when selling your property. Go too high and buyers stay away. Go too low and you're leaving hard-earned equity behind. I help my clients find that sweet spot backed by data, market insight, and experience. So you'll feel confident that you're getting top dollar without scaring away potential buyers. If you're curious about what your home could sell for, let's talk. Now, did you know that I was actually reading a script? You didn't even know, right? And the reason is because if you think about it, if you're reading a script on your video camera, how do you typically know somebody's reading a script? Yeah, your eyes, right? Yeah. So wouldn't it be cool if there was an app that with one tap, you could totally solve that problem? Well, you already know where I'm going with that, and that's this. This is the actual video of me reading a script with one tap, AI technology built into the app that will correct my eyes to make it look like I'm looking right at the screen. I'll play a couple more examples for you. This is an example of me being at a new build. So if you don't have listings, go to a new build and create content there. So this is a new build with no editing whatsoever.
Set, go.
Who wouldn't want a brand new built property? And that's exactly what. Okay, now I want you to listen. I use Captions. Captions will enhance your audio to make it sound like you're using a microphone. Who
Who wouldn't want a brand new built property? And that's exactly what.
Let's go one more. So now I enhance my audio. Now I'm adding background music.
Who wouldn't want a brand new built property? And that's exactly what we view today. Descano Walk by Olson Homes in the city of Claremont on Foothill Boulevard. Margie, what?
Okay, let me show you one more. You tell me if you could hear the background noise, the background wind and all of that.
You know, I always love my Starbucks coffee, but today this one is even just a little sweeter.
Could you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, now watch this. This is with the $9.99 app.
You know, I always love my Starbucks coffee, but today this one is even just a little sweeter, and it's because.
Okay, I'm gonna get ready to wrap right now. Just a couple more things. ChatGPT, there's a free account, there's a paid account. Free account, free. Pay 20 bucks a month, you got a lot more opportunities. I could upload to 3 photos a day with my free account and have them edit my photos. So I can stage a property like this. So I uploaded this photo and I tell ChatGPT, I want you to virtually stage it, then it looks like this. How about this property right here? Look at this. So you see the cabinets. I asked ChatGPT a very specific, update this with white shaker cabinets, white quartz countertops, light colored laminate flooring, and then give me some color here in the backsplash that brings it all together. This is my new listing right here. My listing that I told you that we are hitting the market at $850. When I showed this home, or when I walked this home, I met with the sellers, mom, dad, brother, and sister. Mom and dad are approaching probably 80, so they said, when we pass, they will inherit this. Everybody's a part of this decision. It's not just one. So I had to meet with everybody. I took photos of this house with my cell phone, uploaded to ChatGPT, and I said, show me what this house would look like with white walls, light colored laminate flooring. ChatGPT says, what about the ceiling? Do you want the ceiling painted? I said, no, leave the ceiling painted as is. It said, what about the kitchen? I said, we could update the kitchen as well. I have a real photo of what it looks like. It looks exactly like this, light colored laminate, the deer heads are gone, and the cabinets were painted light gray, sanded and painted light gray. But that's how we got it all. How many of you feel with what we shared with you today that you could walk away and actually put this into play and at least generate 2 additional closings for the next 12 calendar months, realistically?
I guess only me.
Okay. So Joan, how about you, Alba? Yep.
How easy is captions to use?
Very simple. If it was difficult, I wouldn't show it because I'm not very technically savvy myself. And when I used to do trainings for the Apple retail stores, I used to be asked often to show iMovie. Hey, can you just show iMovie because it's their app, right? I'm like, I can't even figure out iMovie. If I can't figure out iMovie, and I don't want anybody teaching me how to do it because for me, it needs to be intuitive. Either it's intuitive or it's not. Because if I'm talking to the average layman, no problem. They're not going to get it. They're not going to understand it. They're not going to be happy with that. So here's what I'll share with you here. 2 things. If you feel legitimately that you can close at least 1 additional deal for the next 4 months, based off of this, do the math. How much money are we talking? Then in turn, you give Hector, give Linda, give Michelle 5 minutes of your time because they're the reasons as to why I'm here. And I'm just speaking solely for myself. If you felt like my training was worth you coming on out today, give them 5 minutes of your time so that way they can then share the value that they can bring to your team. Because holding events like this, it really does mean something. They're not just simply sitting here asking you for their deal, telling you how amazing they are. They're empowering you by inviting you on out to an event and then sponsoring a great lunch and then hosting people like us. I have a great relationship with Hector and Linda, and I would get out of my way for them anytime that they ask because of the value that I know they're committed to bringing to the market. And I love the fact that they are true real estate professionals. They're not just people who are going to do an amazing job handling your escrow. So this is what I launched. I just spoke at Gen Blue, which is the worldwide event for Coldwell Banker. I've been doing events for about 15 years at a high level in real estate. I will be speaking at NAR next month in Houston. And I have had some of the highest rated classes speaking for NAR because all of those classes are rated. And my classes are some of the best in the game. But this is what we launched, Agent Growth Lab 2.0. Here's what this is. This is an online training platform that includes over 40 videos. All of these videos, they're very short. They're like 2 to 5 minutes. So the idea is spend 5 minutes a day with me each morning. Have your coffee and be online and then watch one of my videos. And this is all right here just about building your foundation. I'll just read off a couple to you. Building your foundation with video marketing, the psychology of fear, why we hold ourselves back, how to prepare for on-camera success, how to speak clearly and with confidence, how to keep it short and concise, how to hook your audience. And then there's filming tips made simple. We talk about the tripod. If I was to click on the tripod, here's the type of information you get. It's not only a helpful video that you could watch, but it's also information specific to this tripod, and it even includes a link as to where you could buy it. Now, my ChatGPT class that I do this class often. It's a ChatGPT master class. You just got a little taste of it. There's over 15 videos that you could watch, again, 2 to 5 minutes, to make sure that if you went through my class in 1 hour, you could be standing up here in front of your board holding the sessions on how to use ChatGPT. My last one is Video Marketing Made Easy. This is where I give you the breakdown for captions, step by step. So I talk to you about importing your video to captions, modifying captions, enhancing your audio with captions, adding background music, exporting your video files, before and after comparisons so you could see the difference, and then also how to do that AI correction. Now, as I promote my training online, I will tell you that I was selected by the California Association of Realtors to develop the official curriculum for the state, but because of my relationship with Somerset, this is my offering to you. If any of you want to get this, then you can pull out your phone and then you can scan this QR code right here and you can get access to Agent Growth Lab for a one-time fee of $97. If you do not find enough value to buy this, then good luck on trying to figure it out on your own. I would pay any day in order to make sure that I can learn something efficiently. $97, that is your discounted price, and you have the Somerset team to thank for that. Truly you do. And you guys know from all the other events that I've done, I've always charged way more for this. One time, there's no funny business here, okay? Nobody's gonna reach out to you to say, oh, pay another monthly fee to get X. One-time fee, $97, you get access, 41 videos, and it also gives you the opportunity. If you're moving things along and if you have questions, feel free, reach out to me.